So what we just witnessed in Vegas with the fabulous 5-day sale was one of the most desperate attempts that I have ever seen to generate interest for a product that nobody seems to want anymore. That's not to say people don't want Vegas, but what they don't want is the fees and the outrageous costs that come with the strip. And you know, the more I looked into the fabulous 5-day sale, the more I saw about how bad of a deal it was for you and how you basically bought the leftover scraps of what the casinos were willing to give you. So let's take a tour of the strip and let me explain how these casino companies pulled the wool over your eyes, allowing them to continue to profit and for you to get some table scraps. My name is Steven. This is NLLV. 1, 2, 3, and action. So before we get into what the fabulous 5-day sale is, before we get into that, we have to talk about why these casino companies can't just permanently lower prices. Because the casino companies are caught in a bona fide certified debt spiral. The debt spiral is worse than I've ever described on the channel, and it goes something like this. So pretty obvious admission we have to make here is that casinos aren't small little companies. They're not mom and pop shops. These are multinational organizations in actually every case in Vegas. Even Caesars has stuff going on in Canada. And when they take on debt, they don't just take on little bits. Like Caesars Entertainment has over $11 billion in debt, and MGM Resorts International carries almost $7 billion in debt every single year. So in order to do projects like this giant shopping plaza that was just opened a year or two ago here at the city center, the casinos have to borrow money. They borrow money because no big business actually spends their own money, and then they hope that they can pay down that debt over time. The problem is the interest rates on those debts, they don't go down over time. These casinos have to continue servicing those debts year after year while pulling in profits from their operations inside. And when people stop coming to Vegas because consumer confidence is down, because the economy is strange, or because they simply don't have the money, plazas and places like this don't have renters. Take a look at the little red over there. That's actually a for lease location that's been for lease for over 2 years. Valuable rent that can be taken in by MGM Resorts International to pay down those debts that they simply don't have. And what happens to you then? Well, your prices in Vegas stay sky high and just climb up incrementally higher as you go. So when retail locations like this, conveniently hidden out of the way here, are completely devoid of any tenants, when MGM Resorts International is losing literally tens of millions of dollars a year off of locations like this, is it any wonder why, just at the Aria, on the same site that we're sitting on right now, a bottle of water costs $26? So in a system where the casinos have to take a small percentage of every dollar earned to service the debt before they can post profits for themselves, it's no wonder why you end up having to pay more every time you come into town. But about that 5-day sale, great value, right? Huge success if you listen to the casino companies. But if we look at the numbers, the stats, the facts that they've given us, the very same things they have deemed made the entire campaign a success, we can see how really desperate the casinos are. You see, one of the fundamental problems with stocks like MGM Resorts International and Caesars right now is that they are not showing enough growth and enough revenue streams coming in. So the 5-day sale was intended to get you to come back to Vegas. You're again that quote-unquote low-quality player we talked about. I call you the value player, but they call you the low-quality ones. Because time was, places like this, the Crystal Shops, were catering to a very short part of the Vegas marketplace. And now it seems like this is all they want. According to their stock, though, it's not working. I mean, just look at this chart right here. This stock is down 18%, and it might fall another 50%. This is exactly what happens when casino companies bully the little guy and forget that they're one of their biggest assets. And right now, investors don't like that their revenues are only up 0.9% for the year. And they have to push those things further and further. And what are you going to do about it? Well, I'll tell you what I do about it. Would you like to make money on that? Would you like to make money off the backs of MGM Resorts International's failures? See, I've been telling you guys for about almost 2 years now that I've been trading those markets myself, and to keep this channel free of sponsors and to let you know I'm not taking money from these companies, I made my own course. If I could show you a way where you could, at your own leisure, wake up and make money on markets just like this. And so I created my own course, 1K a day. 1K a day is simple. It'll show you in the simplest terms platforms for sheer beginners, how to go in and potentially make 50 bucks here, 100 bucks there without spending thousands of your own dollars on things. You're not investing and hoping it goes up. Look at this, one of my students. It blew me away. He sent me this, and I'm so grateful he did. He made $1,000 today at market open, just off of that one down move you see on the screen right there. So if that sounds like it might be life-changing to you, go to 1kaday.diy. We only are allowed to do 10 openings on these videos or live streams. Type in the code 1010 at checkout, and you'll get it for 90% off, and you'll own it for life. It'll be less than half the price of this fancy little action cam right here. If you do it, 1kaday.diy, code 10 at checkout, you'll learn a skill. You know more than your friends. You'll be interesting at dinner parties. But go do something with your life, because even if you took advantage of this big sale, that might be the only time you're coming to Vegas. Because that big sale, it had some big suspicious numbers behind it. Oh, and a little more about the numbers behind all this. Just listen to this. I have to use a cheat sheet here, but hotel rates have jumped up 34.2% since 2019 here in Vegas, which is crazy. It was $121 to come here back in 2019, and on average, it's $169 a night right now. MGM's rates actually went from $133 in 2019 to $194 in 2024. Resort fees, parking fees, early check-in fees, concierges are gone at some of these properties, and $26 bottles of water, $40 for a coffee and a bagel. They priced themselves out of their core customer base. So the 5-day sale was, hey, let's bring the core customer base back. How well did it work? As I've been mentioning so far, it didn't work the way they thought it would work. Well, it did, but it didn't, and that's because the numbers are sheer lies. So first off, we have to look at the talking point of 120 times more web traffic than they've ever had before everything, Cyber Monday, Black Friday sales, all these sales. But 120 times what? We don't have any starting point gauge. And when it comes to statistics and analytics and marketing, casino companies and big companies are really, really good at dazzling you with BS numbers. So you completely miss the point, and you think that it was a big success that you somehow missed out on, or it was a huge success that you were a part of. And then we get down to the restrictions on when you could actually travel. There were so many restrictions. People thinking that they can finally afford that trip to come to Vegas for Halloween, for example, maybe for the week of Easter, Thanksgiving, any other holiday, I don't know, New Year's Eve, anybody? That's not happening under this exclusive deal that they were extending out, because they really just want you to come back. So check out some of these restriction dates. We had the 27th to the 29th. That's our F1 ramp-up weeks, and also right after the actual sale itself. So it's not like you're going to book this sale and come in this weekend. October 17th to the 18th, these are fall prime travel dates that people like to travel on, especially after Columbus Day weekend. October 23rd to the 25th, this is Halloween season in Vegas. This is one of the biggest events. People come in and just go wild the weekend right before or after, preceding or going right. Hi.
Can I ask, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just recording. I'm recording a thing for YouTube. Is that not okay?
Well, I'm going to ask right now. Is it okay?
I'm going to leave instead, because they're probably going to say no and
Doing a YouTube, is that okay or not?
see what they say.
See what he says. Okay, if you want to do it, I can take you to the management office and see if they'll give you permission. It's just right there.
No, that's okay.
You sure?
You're lovely, though. Thank you so much for helping me. I appreciate you. Yep, that's good. So they don't want us doing YouTube videos in here. Let's go talk about the other blackout restriction dates. And while we're at it, why don't you throw me a subscription? I'm always dealing with that. So much recession. Or would that be repression, as Cheech and Chong once said. Right, so other blackout dates included November 4th to 6th of any year, December 31st, New Year's Eve, because they know they can fill it up anyways, January 5th to the 8th, which is Consumer Electronics Show, where they milk big companies like Microsoft, Alphabet, and Meta out of hundreds of millions of dollars. And of course, January 16th to the 22nd, which was MLK weekend, which is a huge holiday weekend to come into town. And again, no hate on properties like Circa, one of my favorite properties in the city that I highly recommend. But when they choose to black out every single weekend and exclude that from the fabulous 5-day sale, it tells me and you one thing. What this sale with all of these blackout dates and restrictions tells us is that Vegas is essentially throwing the table scraps, the non-prime cuts to us, the regular folks coming into Vegas that want to get a good deal. It's a lot like when you go to the grocery store and go to the meat section and you pick up that steak that costs 50% less, but it expires in just about 10 minutes from now. You're wondering if there's going to be food poisoning involved. That's essentially what's happening here, where the prime cuts, the best meat, the best times to come, it's being hijacked by things like the F1 race, which you can see being set up right above me here. And do you know what the worst part about all this is, to me at least? It's that once somebody does have that value mindset and takes advantage of the fabulous 5-day sale, they come to Vegas and they realize that, yeah, sure, the room was cheaper. I got some activities bundled in. My overall price is less here, but darn it, $26 for a bottle of water, $14 for a slice of pizza, $8 for a cup of Starbucks coffee. No coffee makers in the room, of course, because heaven forbid we let people get a value add on to their rooms. And what do you mean I have to pay $25 a day to park? I'm already paying for the room. Because the problem in Vegas in 2025 going into 2026 has nothing to do with lack of product knowledge. Everybody knows what Vegas is. Everybody has seen it online. Social media has made sure of that. And half-hearted attempts to run sales and get rooms filled when they don't think that the quality player, as they like to call them, are going to be able to do it, that's not going to save the perception of value that the city has suffered over the last 6 months to a year. And so, as we have explained, going back as far as May of this year, Vegas is in a verified death spiral. They can't increase their prices any more than they have during the week, so they slash the prices only to have a band-aid be put on something that requires stitches and triage. And as the revenues of companies like MGM Resorts International continue to shrink month over month, people are taking notice. So what's the actual final solution for you, the consumer coming here? Well, that answer is simple. You may not like it. It's going to require some hard work, but it's simple enough. The sad fact is we're heading it into a type of economy right now where if you have more, you're going to get more. And people who have less, they're just going to be more and more pushed out of the way. So I don't care what it is, or I don't care what you do. If you have a skill, turn it into something where you make a product. Sell it on Facebook Marketplace or Etsy. If you guys know how to cook or you're a baker, open a ghost kitchen on Facebook. If you know about old books, go to the thrift stores, find them, flip them on eBay, or take my course, 1kaday.diy, code 10, get 90% off. It'll sell out. That's the whole point here. If you had the money, you could come to Vegas. If you didn't have the money, you can't come to Vegas. And I feel like this isn't a problem that's going away anytime soon. Now look, money doesn't solve all your problems. As Tony Robbins once famously said, it just allows you to drive up to them in a nicer car. But wouldn't it be nice to worry a little bit less? So do something with your life. That's the message I want to give you. I want to hopefully inspire you a little bit there. And thank you to everybody that you see on the screen right now. These people truly inspire me. They reach out to us and join up on our Patreon. We just put in over a 45-minute walkthrough of the Venetian Grand Bazaar shops in 4K 60 frames per second last week. They get extra content. Their name's in the credits right here. And you guys can also find an economic playlist I'll stick right over here so you guys can go see how I've been talking about this for a long time, but it's not getting any better out here. The one-day sale is just a band-aid. I don't know what comes next. If you're just browsing through, be sure to throw us a subscription so you see my updates. We do the economy on Mondays. We do these Vegas-centric updates on Wednesdays. And we live stream on the weekends. And with that, I look right in the camera and I say, you're the best part of my day. Thanks for watching. 3, 2, 1, click. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and click.